born in Hamilton?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and you've brought a room full of instruments here, all string instruments. And at what point in life did you sort of get in the different ones? Did you start with guitar? Is that what it was? Or
I actually did start with guitar when I was 4 years old. My dad actually taught me. He brought the music thing into my world. And the reason we started off with guitar is because we didn't have a bouzouki available. So he started teaching me a few things on the guitar, you know, just to get my fingers moving. But I think I played the guitar for maybe 2 or 3 months until he got a hold of a bouzouki. So, in actuality, I didn't really start the guitar. I started on the bouzouki.
now, were there other people in the family that played instruments? Was this a large Greek family in Hamilton, or?
It was my dad.
Just your dad?
My dad was a professional singer in Greece. A different style of Greek music, more folk. There's a lot of clarinet in that type of music. But he played violin. He played this other instrument called lauto, similar to a guitar. Played guitar. Played clarinet. So there was a lot of musicality in the family.
You always hanging around Dad?
Even if I wasn't, I would hear him somewhere.
Is that right?
Of course.
Did he take you to gigs or anything, or?
All the time, you know. He had a band. He would have different events that he would do, social gatherings, weddings. So I was always a part of that. Like, I didn't know any different. I was so young.
Yeah. Well, the reason we're here together today is you've taken these instruments and employed them in a sound of your own, and it's a very contemporary but world music sound. So why don't you play something? What have you got there with you?
This is the bouzouki.
The bouzouki?
Yes.
And play something for us, just to get an example of what this is and how you employ it and use it in the music that you're working on.
Okay.
Now, is that a specific scale or something that you're playing off of there?
Yeah, it is a specific scale. It's basically a minor scale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's within the tradition.
It's not actually
No?
a specific Greek scale.
Okay.
Just a minor scale.
Okay. And the technique, how did you develop this technique? I mean, you've got quite a control.
The technique was developed through my father showing me different things on the instrument when I was younger. And because I had that tool, I was able to listen to other artists that would play this instrument at a really high level, and I could understand what they were doing. So I tried to imitate them. Like, I would learn their pieces. There was this one bouzouki player, his name was Harry Limonopoulos, and this guy would play the bouzouki with an orchestra or a small band, but his music was more orchestral. It wasn't the traditional Greek bouzouki style of playing. So that's the kind of thing that I focused on.
Now, you were also a big fan of Al Di Meola, so you're listening to what he's doing with the instrument in the context of, I guess, Return to Forever, and then when he sort of switched over to doing the world music thing.
Of course, there's a lot of different influences that I've had.
Now, what have you picked up now? What is this?
This is called the Dzura. It's from the same family of the bouzouki. It's a lot smaller, the body's smaller, and it has 6 strings as opposed to having 4 strings. Sorry, as opposed to having 8 strings of the bouzouki. It has a totally different sound, and it's tuned DAD. It's got a different style of playing as well.
Can we hear it?
Sure.
Okay. Nice. Now, when you record, because you record basically at home your album.
Yes, I did.
What you worked on. Now, do you do layers with these different instruments?
Yes, I have to do that. I do everything one by one. Whether that I work with MIDI, I have computer programs, software, and after putting all the tracks down that I need to, the drums, the percussion, the strings, whatever, then I pick up these guys and figure out what's suited for the song. And sometimes I'll put more than one. I might use the dzura in conjunction with the bouzouki, or the bouzouki in conjunction with the tsubus that we'll see later.
Yeah, but this must be quite an exciting process to do this. But it's so orchestral once you get them all together. It's as the combination of sounds are quite exhilarating to hear.
Well, it is exciting. Every time I sit down and create something, I might start off by holding the dzura and create something from this and expand on the idea from the dzura, or I might sit down and fool around on the MIDI controller with a piano or something, and then imagine what would it be like if I were to incorporate the bouzouki or the dzura or the tsubus or the oud or the saz. These are different instruments. And the exciting thing is, after I get to that step, and I actually sit down and put the mic in front with my headphones and hit the first note, that's the most exciting part. It's just to introduce this new sound. Sometimes I don't like the sound of certain instruments, so I'll put that aside and try another instrument. But most of the time, it sounds pretty good.
Now, you've entered a fair amount of competitions, international competitions for songwriting and for this style of music.
Yes, I have.
And been pretty successful at it, I first got found out about this competition called the ISC, International Songwriting Competition, in 2006. So I said, I'll give it a go. I submitted one song called Samba Funk, and it placed in the semifinals in the instrumental category. So that was the first time I ever entered anything, one song, and it did very well. So I was really happy. So I entered again the next year. And the next year I entered a song called Matador's Guitar, and that actually won first place in the instrumental category. And I kept entering songs. So the next year after that, in 2008, I entered a song.